It's time for Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio.
Yo. Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And it's a two for Tuesday. We got two special guests because we're going to talk a lot of college hoops. I'm fired up to talk some hoops with CBSSports.com's very own David Cobb. 11:30, he'll be on the program. We are talking a lot of hoops as it is Super Duper Tuesday. It's Super Duper Tuesday. We had Big Monday last night. We're going to talk a lot about what we saw last night. And, Dacus, I got to say to him, Big 12 is nasty, bro. The Big 12 is nasty.
Thank you.
What a unbelievable game between Texas and Baylor. Texas, I thought I was going to get that money line game.
I thought you were too.
And I'm going to tell you a little secret, people. Texas was up in the second half by double digits, and guess who's a smart human being?
You.
They offered me 90% of my total payout on the money line, and I said to myself, damn, I got to take it. Baylor could come back. Why not? So I went ahead and took it. And then they came back and not only won the game, they covered the 7.5. So if you had 7.5, you were fuming.
Oh, yeah.
They went from, the 13-minute mark in the second half, it was a double-digit lead. Texas was up 12. At the 6:50 mark, Baylor had taken a 1-point lead.
Well, there was a...
there was a 5 minute and 30 second stretch that Texas couldn't make a single field goal. And this is after my man. And by the way, let me just say something. Max Abmas is sick.
Good player.
He's what, 7th on the all-time list scoring at Texas? Yeah. Dude is nasty.
Well, no, not Texas. He just got to Texas, but he came from Oral Roberts. But he's
points,
like, in terms of like
points.
It might be an NCAA.
It might be the NCAA.
He's up there.
He's got over 3,000 points. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Dude's tearing it up. But bro, like he had no help because Dessou was sick, and then he hurt his knee in the second half, and that was real scary. And then Cunningham, bro, was fouling everybody.
Yeah,
that flagrant foul they called was only called because he was such a bully the whole game. Mm-hmm. But man, Texas really fell apart down the stretch. And the good thing is me and Dacus are going to talk some college basketball here in the first segment because we had some great stuff. The Duke game last night, told you Duke was going to cover. They beat the brakes off of them.
I watched the second of that game. I was locked in on A-Sun action.
You were on what?
I was watching the A-Sun tournament last night.
I did not watch any
Duke
of
and
it.
NC State.
Who won? Kennesaw State?
No. Jacksonville won that game, and then Queens beat Florida.
Both road teams?
Both road. Well, see, we were talking about it. They were not playing at home gyms. They were playing at host gyms. So the Kennesaw State game was instead of being at Kennesaw State, it was at Eastern Kentucky's gym. The Florida Gulf Coast game, I believe, was at the Stetson gym. I think they were playing in DeLand. So it was neutral site for all the teams, but both teams that won last night were the designated away teams and the underdogs.
Damn, man.
So wild night in the A-Sun.
Wild night. And tonight's going to continue with some wildness.
Oh, yeah.
We got more of that, more action all over the place. By the way, I don't know if you realize there's a great game on the Peacock.
Oh, my God.
The Strong Arm Network.
Holy cow.
Did you see this?
That's crazy.
Illinois. It's in Champaign. And guess what?
Illinois is favored.
Illini are a 2.5-point favorite.
That's right.
Ooh, it's going to be nasty. Don't forget, though, North Carolina, who came back and slapped NC State last week. Poor NC State. They got slapped last night. They got slapped on Saturday by North Carolina.
Poor NC State.
Like, they look good in the first half. They look good, and then they just fall apart and get smacked. But I will say, that big boy Burns for NC State, he looks like a football player.
He does. No, you're absolutely right. Every time I see him, for some reason, when that game came on last night, I was getting because the game starts in college basketball is very good at when it's a 7 o'clock or when it's a 6 o'clock tip. It is a 6 o'clock tip. They're going off right at 6. So I'm getting my stuff ready in here or to leave because we get off at 6, and I look up, and for some reason I thought NC State was Louisville for some reason, and I was like, who is this big boy that they've got out there for Louisville? He needs to be on the football team. Then I realized it was NC State. I watched that guy play, I think, Vanderbilt earlier in the season. Massive human being.
And he's really good. Dude's got good feet. And I got to say, Burns is the guy's name. He is huge. He went off for 27 points on 12 and 19 from the field, DJ Burns Jr., and that is a full-grown man. Like, there was a lot of times where I saw Duke players on the ground, and it wasn't because he was overly aggressive. It's just he's that much bigger and stronger than everybody else.
That's right.
Like, it was wild. But we got tons of college basketball. Again, we got Notre Dame and North Carolina. In the SEC, we have a great one. Florida at home playing Alabama, both 20-9 record. Alabama 12-4 in the SEC. Florida 10-6. Florida is a 1.5-point favorite. We're going to talk about this with DC and, of course, Brian Dacus. We also have a couple other interesting games. Like tonight, I saw San Diego State's playing UNLV. San Diego State's only a 1.5-point favorite. And I watched San Diego State play San Jose State over the weekend because I'm a gambling junkie. And let me just tell you a little secret. San Jose State's like the worst basketball team I've ever watched. They are so pathetic, it's not even funny. And UNLV didn't really run away with that bad boy. Like, I'm kind of confused. We're going to break this down as well because I feel like San Diego State should be able to go in and run UNLV out the gym, or at least defensively lock them down where they can't go out there and score. And San Diego State, I mean, I just feel like this is a damn good physical team. And let's not forget, my man Ledee, Jaden Ledee, is a matchup freaking nightmare. He looks just like Julius Peppers did when he played at North Carolina. Does he not?
He sure does.
He's got that build. He is chiseled. This dude looks like a defensive end in the National Football League. I'm telling you, I think he's going to go completely off. I got to ask David Cobb why that line looks so easy, because usually when it's that easy, there's something a little bit fishy. But we also have some big NFL news to break down today. Russell Wilson got released. Holy cow. Do you know that that's the worst cap hit, dead cap hit, in NFL history, and it's by a long shot? They're taking an $85 million dead money charge by releasing Russell Wilson. They're going to pay him $39 million this year. The worst in history was Matt Ryan in 2022 when he hurt the Atlanta Falcons for $40 million. That's more than double. Damn, Russell. Now, I do have to say Russell said some very nice things. You know, he left. He's going out. Talked about how it's about winning and yada, 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 yada. He's a very nice guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's good at thanking his players. And I just keep looking around the National Football League, and a lot of people are talking about where is he going to go. And I got to ask, where is he going to go? Where do y'all think he's going to go? Hit me up at the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line and text line, 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line and text line. Life is too short for ordinary jewelry. Hit me up and let me know where you think he's going to go, because I did a ridiculous exercise, and I also did a whole lot of thinking about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, and just to go back, do I think he still has the talent to be a starter in the National Football League? Of course I do. I mean, he only threw 8 interceptions last year to 26 touchdowns. He is not the quarterback that he used to be. But really, how great was he? I mean, this is Seattle. Matt Hasselbeck was the best probably quarterback that ever played there. I mean, Rick Meyer was a disaster. Dan McGuire. They had Tavarius Jackson. He, as a rookie, beat out Matt Flynn. You know what I mean? Like, Seattle was struggling for a quarterback so bad, they bring in Matt Flynn. And in his rookie year, that defense was so good with Richard Sherman and everybody and their grandmother that they actually beat Washington on the road in the wild card of the playoff. Like he came into a situation with Marshawn Lynch behind him, one of the best offensive lines in football, the best defense in football. Went to 2 Super Bowls, won one. Yes, he's great. He was good. I mean, no, he wasn't great. He was extremely good at running that system and being, doing what he was asked to do and improvising. He plays great backyard football. But playing from the pocket, he's still 5'11". It didn't work out with Sean Payton. And I'm kind of wondering, Russell Wilson, when he was in Seattle, and we went from Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom to Russell Wilson and let Russ cook, they really didn't win like you really thought they were going to. Yes, he's a good quarterback, but I look around and I'm wondering to myself, where is this man going? The Raiders, people keep saying the Raiders. They've seen him 4 times. Do you think that they've seen something that they're like, dude, I got to have Russell Wilson? Oh. I don't think so. And I don't think he would fit with Antonio Pierce. Like their demeanors will not fit. Like he's got to have a specific coach. And again, I'm saying this because Russ has changed since he was a rookie coming out of Wisconsin and beating out Matt Flynn and trying not to just screw it up because the Legion of Boom's defense was so good and handing the ball off to beast mode. What I'm saying is this is a guy now who has a Super Bowl ring, who's been anointed, who has all the cash, who married Sierra. He's got that superstar lifestyle. He's got kids out the frame. When he went to Denver, he was the savior. They even gave his publicists and all of his people a bunch. They treated him like he was Liz Taylor back in the day on a movie set. You know what I mean? They didn't treat him like he was a football player. Like that kind of makes you soft. Like, are you grinding if basically you're always worried about your brand and your perception and you're doing stupid, corny little videos on your TikTok, X, whatever the hell he was dropping all those corny-ass videos? Like, that's not being locked in and focused. When you're putting out things like, yo, man, I'm doing high knees on the airplane, over across the pond, play a little football, putting in that work. Let Broncos, let's ride. Like, he went more Hollywood, and I get it, man. Like, I would love to go Hollywood. Who wouldn't? I'm just saying, to myself, where is he going to go? Raiders, I don't think so. Minnesota's probably going to keep Kirk Cousins. Come on now. You think they're just going to let him skate? They might draft somebody later. I keep hearing maybe J.J. McCarthy or something, but he ain't ready to. He didn't even throw the ball hardly at Michigan. You think he's ready to just step in and start the NFL? I don't think so. And by the way, it always happens at the Combine. J.J. McCarthy, now everybody and their grandmothers talk about he's the next coming.
Oh, man, give me a break.
That's what I'm saying, man.
4 quarterbacks in the top 10 now. Crazy.
Dude, I listen to crazy-ass Skip Bayless. That dude, I swear, doesn't even, I can't take him serious ever. Do you know what he said?
What'd he say?
He said J.J. McCarthy will be drafted ahead of Jaden Daniels and will be better than Jaden Daniels. And I don't know if he looked at his numbers. Did you know Jaden Daniels completed 72% of his passes? He's better from the pocket than even Caleb Williams. He's also faster than Caleb Williams. He's a little bit skinnier and lighter. I'm a little bit worried. But, yeah, he's a Heisman Trophy winner who flat out balled out.
Sure.
72% of his passes in the SEC.
That's right. He was great. Literally was
J.J. McCarthy. Again, this is almost a Russell Wilson situation. Hey, Michigan, their defense and running game and their offensive line and their defensive front and that sick defense is what won them a national championship. It show as hell wasn't J.J. McCarthy. Is that better quarterback play than Cade McNamara? Damn right it is. But, come on now. Talking about going before Jade Daniels. Back to Russell Wilson, though. I don't see him going to Minnesota. Atlanta is desperate for a quarterback. You heard Raheem Morris at the NFL Combine, didn't you? Mm-hmm. He said here's basically what he said about Desmond Ridder. He said, Desmond, you will never be my quarterback because you're terrible. Because at the NFL Combine, when he was talking, they asked him a question. And he said, well, man, I probably wouldn't be standing here if we had quarterback play that was decent.
That was the best quote from Combine Week.
Decent. He didn't say good. He said decent. Yeah. You suck, bruh. So you know that Atlanta wants a quarterback, but do you think that a young Atlanta squad and a coach in Raheem Morris with his second chance want to bring in a prima donna like Russell Wilson.
No chance.
I don't know if that would fit with that young roster. The New York Football Giants. They have now Daniel Jones, two out of the last 3 years been injured. Coming off ACL in November he destroyed. Should be ready. I don't think they really believe in Danny Jones. Their general manager came out and said that they are not going to draft a quarterback necessarily. They might. Maybe something late. But what they're going to do to make that quarterback room better is via trade, they are going to go out there and get somebody to bring in to compete, to elevate the quarterback room. That's what the Giants have said. Is elevating like Daniel Jones is, I mean, and by the way, Russ Wilson is, the Broncos are paying him. He's extremely cheap. Yeah, somebody's going to get him. But is Russ Wilson going to fit New York and Danny Jones with Brian Daboll? Talk about two totally different skill sets. I don't know, man. I don't like that one either.
I don't. I certainly don't. That's one we brought up yesterday afternoon when this kind of broke.
You brought up the Giants.
What Brett did. He was like, "What about the Giants?" I was like, "I don't know."
I mean, they're
like
basically sick and tired of Daniel Jones. You can basically tell, and they said they're bringing in competition, but I don't think Russell like that. I don't know, man. I don't like it. Washington, their new coach is. Mm-hmm. Do you think they want to bring in a diva like Russell Wilson?
No.
To get started?
No.
I don't either, man. Like Dan Quinn did work though in Seattle, so he knows Russ very, very well.
True.
But again, he knows Russ very, very well.
And he was also on the defensive side of the ball. If you ask anybody on that Seattle defense what they think about Russell Wilson, they all hate him.
Damn point. It's a damn good point. So Washington, no. Plus, they have the second pick. Are you not going to take Drake May, Jaden Daniels, or Caleb Williams with the second pick? Come on now.
I would.
Pittsburgh.
This is the one I've seen a lot of people talk about.
I don't think. I mean, Arthur Smith when he was in Tennessee, because he's the offensive coordinator now in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
I know what he did with Ryan Tannehill. And I'm going to say it. Russell Wilson is better than Ryan Tannehill. Okay? I don't know if that's going out on a limb, is it?
No, not at all.
I didn't think so. But how much of an upgrade would that really be for Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett?
I saw somebody post on Twitter today, and it was like you're okay. It was like one hallway, and it had Russell Wilson beside it, and it was another hallway that had Kenny Pickett beside it, and it was like, two different hallways that you could choose to go through, but then they both just ended up with one door that said, like, 7th place and with a 500 record. And I was like, yep, that's pretty much either way you slice it. I think that's what you got with the Steelers.
I mean, by the way, I want you to think about how bad it is in Denver.
Yeah, I mean,
Denver's taking an $85 million dead cap. They're paying a man $39 million to play. And by the way, does Denver have a quarterback?
No. That should tell you everything you need to know. When you just go back in time, everybody that played defense in Seattle hates this guy. He goes to Denver. We learned that he demanded a office for himself and parking spots for him and all of his trainers.
We should call him Liz Taylor. He came up into Denver like he was a damn movie star instead of a football player.
And then he's got a great coach in Sean Payton that comes in and was like, we're going to work this out. We're going to be fine. And now they're saying we're going to take on all of this money because we have to get rid of this guy. I mean, talk about red flags.
Red flags galore. But it is time to switch gears up because I can't wait to talk